Hello everyone. This video is going to be part 2 of the hearse build. I did do some things off camera. There's this little lip here for a car if it had windows. We're going to remove that because on the hearse it is flush. It just wraps around. I'll put a picture up there of it. And then I masked off the doors with just some frog tape, just so when I'm sanding and working in these areas, I don't get into those areas to keep them protected. Another thing real quick I'll tell you about this. I'm not going to open these doors up. I know I was thinking about it, but the problem is this pillar, there's that fine line which is all part of the front door, and that little piece of trim for the window would be all that would connect that. And then I would have to reconstruct the whole inside, like the firewall and everything inside there. It is possible, but it's a lot of work. I would have to go in here and super glue wire to that fine line to reconstruct it and make it stronger, and then to build the inside, where the firewall and everything is. Just a ton of work. But this is what I did decide. I'm going to open the back door up, and we'll have all the details and stuff in the back. I got some wood for its dollhouse flooring, and it's got adhesion on one side of it. Let me grab that because I forgot. This is what it is. It's real wood, and I've used this on dioramas in the past, and this kind of, I got this left. So in the back of the hearse, and I'll put another picture up there, there's a centerpiece of it looked like aluminum going up the middle. And I think what that is like a guide rail for when they move the casket in and out, and to keep the casket from sliding during travel. So we're going to have that in there, and then we're going to have the wood on either side of that, and I'm going to do some stuff with that, stain and whatnot, to make it look pretty cool. So real quick, we're going to sand this up, and we'll get some filler on there. And to sand that, I'm just going to use a nail file. These are 320 grit, so that will knock this line down really fast. And I'm not even doing it on camera. See how I am? Supposed to be sharing with you guys, and I'm not. Keeping it all to myself. I just kind of go in a crisscross pattern because in the automotive world, that was how we always did our body work, right? One side and the other side, just back and forth. And this little edge right here, I notice is kind of sticking out a little bit too. So we're gonna get that. I think that feels pretty good to me. A little bit right there. This I got to be careful because I don't want to get right behind that is the rear door handle. So I don't want to get into that. Got this scratch in my throat that just been bothering me for a couple days now. I keep clearing my throat. So I apologize for that. I'm going to do the other side, but I'll leave you on, but I'll fast forward it. All right, let's peel some of this tape off and see what we got. Because we got to go back and we got to sand some more anyway. Because when we put this that filler stuff in there, we're gonna have to sand that down too. All right, so that's what we got. Yeah, damn, terrible. That's the side I did on camera last time. This is the side I did off camera. Sorry about the throat. All right, so we got this little area up here that I think needs some filler. Oh, right there. And then there's a little area on the bottom side right there. I'm gonna put a little bit of super glue in there, and we'll get those filled up. And then I think I'm gonna put a little from the back side just to use as like a reinforcer for the plastic, because this is really thin stuff, and it's still flexible. So we'll get the trustworthy super glue, and doesn't really matter, but I'm using a extreme power medium. And medium, I think, is the set time on it. So there's like a fast set, a slow set, and medium, I think, is how they word that. I'm just going to go kind of around the window just to add some strength to it. And this doesn't have to be fancy or anything like that, because this is all going to get covered up with the other window. So this is just to add a little strength to it. All right. Now we're gonna try and fill in that little hole up top first. Just get a little bit of a glue in there, and then this stuff is such a fine powder that you can't even see it. So you'll just have to take my word for it. See if you can see that stuff come out of there. I didn't see it come out, but it's definitely coming out. See that? Cool stuff. And we'll get a little on this back corner. The back corner I already got some glue on, so. I wish you could see that pouring out. I could see it by eye, but a little area up top of there that is a gap. So let me get a spot of glue in there. We'll fill that off, and then we can let this cure up. Let's see, I need something, toothpick to spread it. I don't have my glasses on either. Getting old is terrible, isn't it? All right, so I got a bit too much on there. You can kind of see that bubbled up. I'm just gonna spread that out a little. Like I said, it doesn't matter because we're gonna go in and sand this again anyway. I just got to make sure not to get it in that crease of that door, which I guess that doesn't even matter either, because I'm gonna cut that out, right? Sorry, I'm not sharing again. Well, that's that. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can kind of see a little bit. And this stuff is sandable, so just real quick, I'm just going to go around and hit the insides of this where I put that glue, just because I know it's going to add strength to it. So we're going to put some in there too. And there we go. This side came out really nice. Really pleased with that. This side, that dent really broke my heart. But I'll fix that. That's not a big deal. This the Bondo. And for the Bondo, I'm just using Bondo glazing spot putty. You can get this at Walmart, Amazon. In fact, I think this was cheaper at Walmart than it was at Amazon, actually. So I'm gonna get a little something, piece of paper to put that on and spread it out, and then I need a little spatula. So I'm gonna pause you and I'll bring you right back. All right, so I just got a notebook. I'm gonna put some of that on this notebook, and I'm gonna use this plastic razor blade just to kind of brush it back and around, and then we'll let that cure up, and we'll get together tomorrow and we'll do the sanding part of it. That'll probably be enough for both sides. I just opened it up, so it's kind of loose, so I'm gonna mix it all in. Hopefully it has a good bond. I should have left that tape down on the bottoms, but I forgot and I took it off. But yeah, I just slapped that on there. Nothing fancy. Just got it on there because like this side, I know this side is low because of the dents. And then we'll work that, sanding it, and then we'll go over that, and put a final coat over top of that to bring everything flush and true. I forgot I got to cover these holes in too real quick. So. And I got some in that door jamb right there, so I'll just use my fingernail, I think, to dig that back out. And it's out of there. Whoa, there's a little bit of spots on there, but that'll clean right off. I got it out of the jamb, and I can go back in with my etching tool and redo that later. So got a little on that door jamb. There I go, clearing the throat again. I don't know what that is. And maybe it's something from lingering from when I got sick. I'm not sure. All right, so that's what we got. Covered in those holes on the roof and covered in both the back windows with just the first coat. So we're going to sand all that back. Then we're going to check it for load spots and fill in the low spots. So All right. And we're going to let that cure overnight, and I'll bring you guys back tomorrow. Hello, friends. So it's been overnight, and the Bondo that we put on there has cured up pretty good. I did kind of sand a little bit of it, kind of started at it, and but I just thought I'd bring you guys in and do a little bit with you real quick, and then I'm just going to go back and do the rest off camera because it's tedious and it takes up a lot of time, and I don't want this video to be an hour long. So pause you real quick. We'll get the camera set up so you guys can watch. Alright, so we're just gonna knock some of this edge down. I did do a little bit already, but you can kind of still see some lines in there. And then we're gonna sand around this corner. Now the corners can be tricky, and you just got to make sure that you're sanding in a angle that matches, you know, so like matches the angle of their so like, you know, you come at it like this, but you got to keep that angle. And this is a hard angle because of the roof line and then the pitch coming down too. So so you just kind of sand that and keep moving it at an angle. And I'm using a paint mixing stick here, and I just glued some a piece of 400 on the other side. So this is a pretty nice straight edge to sand with and work with, and keep my line straight. So otherwise, you know, you sand it and it'll be warped. You know, so you can do some straight lines like this, but in the automotive, what we would do is like, you know, an X pattern. So like we would come down at an angle, and it's kind of hard to do because I'm on camera, but you know, come down an X pattern and then go the other way in the next pattern too. So, you know, you're just kind of doing and just kind of keeping the flow. And you can see it already, you know, knocking that down pretty quick. And then the angle, I'm gonna come around this as I'm sanding it. So I'm just gonna keep following that natural body line, so that I can continue it there. And this spot right here, you know, it may need a little more filling, it may not. I'll do a little bit more sanding on there, kind of see how I like it, and then we might add some more, we might not. But I mean, that's kind of the gist of it. It's nothing too hard, nothing too crazy. Well, I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera because I'm already burning up so much camera time on this video, and we'll get it shaped up and I'll bring you back. And then real quick, I didn't tell you guys, but like, you know, when you're going around this curve, this pitch of the roof, you know, you just kind of come up and over, you know, just follow that body line. Like you see my dust spreading out across there. So okay, let me keep going. All right, so we got that all knocked down there, and I can see a couple low spots in it still. So right up in here is kind of a low spot, so we'll put a little more in there. And then there's like a little flat spot here on the back. So we're trying to get that round like the top, you know, so we want to follow that curve. And this one is looking really good. There is a little low spot right in here and right in here. So for this side, I think it's just that little area there that we got to fix. And this side, we're going to go from about here and probably just come right back around. And I did find my Bondo applicator, and I've been using this for years, and this is pretty small. It's only about maybe 2 inches wide. You can see that against the car, get you a better idea. And I think I got these maybe at Harbor Freight a long time ago, and I've been using it for years, like I said. And what I do is, after I use it, whatever Bondo product is still left on there, I just let it cure, and then I kind of pick it off, and then I take a little bit of nail polish remover, any nail polish remover I think would work, and I'm using this little microfiber towel and just wipe it up, clean it up good, and it'll be good to last you for a few years. I've tried the metal versions of these, and they're harder to clean, but they'll put down a decent straight line, but this will too. So I prefer the plastic one. These are pretty flexible and bendable, and if you have a lot of buildup on here, sometimes you can just crack it and it'll all pop right off. So I'm gonna mix up some more of that, and we're gonna fill those two corners and let that cure up, and then we'll bring you back. Alright, so we've got those corners set up, and like I said, we'll just let that cure up, and then we'll go back and do some more sanding on it. This one, you can see it's already starting to dry there. And you know, I just left my applicator putty knife, I guess you could call it, dirty, you know, and chances are when that hardens, I just flip it and it'll pop right off. So I did want to show you guys something else. Hold on, let me grab this, and we'll get into that too. Hold on. Alright, so I'm back. I needed to clean up some of the edges around the doors and stuff, and I picked up this off of Amazon a while ago. I used this when I did the etched out the panels on the Buick Regal Lowrider, and it comes with a bunch of different tips and bits in there. I forget what I paid for it off the top of my head, but I'll leave a link in there for it, and if you guys wanted to go check it out. But it's got an extra Allen in there for this in case you lose it, and I believe there was an Allen wrench, but oh yeah, the Allen wrench is in my drawer. So in this, you just kind of get into your panel here. So we're going to do this back door, and you just kind of follow the line just like you would do when we were doing this with the back side of the hobby knife with a number 2 blade, you know. And I'm not trying to go crazy on this. I just want to clean up some of that Bondo that I had gotten down in there. Like you see right in there, there's a little bit, so I just want to clean that up. And I haven't used this to cut out a door or anything yet, but I want to try that too. So when we get to the part where we're cutting out this back door, I'm gonna try and use this to do it, just to see how it works. It's always the hardest going around corners, and I really like this tool. Like, I used it and I was like, man, that is pretty nice, and it seems to stay in the groove or channel better than that number 2, the backside of that number 2 hobby blade, without popping out. Like, you know, if you guys been building a long time and doing that, then you know how the hobby knife would sometimes get off track and start cutting into the body panel and stuff, and you'd have to replace that or repair that, I'm sorry. But let's see if you can see that there. So I just did that one little cut, and that's how much material it took off of there already. It does work very well. Trying to get you in frame there with me, and it's hard because I got my camera positioned next to me, so I can't really see my screen. Let's see, it's top corner here has got some in there. And that one's pretty packed too, so I gotta pick that out. Move you down a little bit, maybe that'll help the angle. But if you can see that, you can kind of see all the material there that we've taken up already. I'm trying to get that, there we go, right there. You can kind of see the material that I've dug out of there already. So, and there's more than that, like it's all over my fingers and everything. But yeah, in my opinion, this tool works really well for doing that stuff, and better than the old number 2 blade trick that we all learned on. Well, some of us. I mean, some of you guys are new to model building and haven't even done this yet. So my advice is, if you're gonna do it, use this tool. You can do it with the hobby blade. It will work and do just fine. But look how easy that pulls through that line without bouncing out. Got quite a bit right here, so I gotta take it easy there. Yeah, and I want to try and use this to actually cut out a door, just to see if I can, you know. I don't know if you guys, and the tip on this is, it's not smooth, it's gritty, like a sandpaper. I don't know. Come on. There, you see that? But I'll leave a link for this, and if you want, you guys can go check that out too. I like it personally. I'm gonna get the rest of this done off camera, and we'll bring you back. All right, so after we sanded that last layer down, I did find these 2 areas that had low spots in them, and I just kind of checked that with like a, you know, something that was like a straight edge, and you know, put it at your angle, and then just kind of I put it up to the light and looked at it, looked through it, you know, and if it, you can see where it dips down or whatnot. So I'm gonna fill those 2 little areas with some more filler, and then we'll bring it back. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm gonna fill those up, I'm gonna let it dry, and I'll sand them back, and then I'll show you what we got. Okay. All right. So real quick, we did get most of the sanding work done, body work. I found this spot here that was just a mold spot, so we got that fixed up. I do see some cracking in the bondo work we did, and that was probably because the temperature and humidity in the room was low. You know, typically you want to be around the 70-degree. So I removed this door handle because, like I said, we're gonna move them up to the front, and I'm gonna try and use that trick with the aluminum and the super glue, and I'm just gonna duplicate the front handles, spin them around, and put them on the back so that they'll look accurate. So I'm gonna cut this one off real quick. And this is pretty simple, you know. You just take your hobby knife and just kind of Take a little bit off at a time. Until you got it just about flush. And then you can just take your sander and so I got a 180 on one side of this one and 320 on the other, so we're going to use 320 and just go at it and follow your body line there. I think I took off a little bit too much in that one spot there because it looks like it's dipping kind of low. And I think I just hit the camera on you with my hat. Sorry about that. I think that's pretty good for that side. So next what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to prime the roof and all our bodywork areas, not the whole car, just the areas that where we did our work. And I'm using automotive product. It's a Nason's primer. This is a 2K primer, so it does require an activator. I already mixed some of this up into a bottle. I did reduce this 4 to 1, so it's 4 parts primer, 1 part reducer, and then we're going to put the activator in there, which is 4 to 1 mix also. So we're going to put 1 of those in there, get that mixed up, and we're going to just get it primed, and we'll let that dry up, and then we can go back and sand that primer. And you know, I'll probably finish this, and then that'll be the end for this video, because we're already about 35 minutes into this thing. So okay, so we're over here at the booth. We got the primer mixed up, and we got the car on my little custom painting stand. I'm just gonna wipe the car down real quick with some Prep All. It's an automotive product, and I'm gonna use just a cotton round to do that. And these are the cotton rounds I'm using, and there are some of these out that are just garbage. Like they'll fall apart, they'll leave product all over the body when you go to wipe it. But these ones, they don't do that. So big fan of this brand here. So and with the Prep Ball, you don't need much, just you know, a little tiny bit in the middle there, and we'll just wipe the body down real quick. I did wash this already, and when I washed it with the same stuff that we use to strip the chrome, the Awesome from the dollar store. Take a little bit off of there. See? Had some leakage over there on the table with the primer. Alright, so we got it wiped down. I got no paint on there. I'm just going to blow this off real quick. I forgot to say I used a microfiber towel when I wash it. And I use the microfiber towels a lot, and I get those from Ollie's, and I get them when they have a coupon where you can get them for free if you purchase anything. do a little test shot here. Looks pretty good. And you could just go in and buy a 79-cent razor blade. I've done that before. So you buy a 79-cent razor blade and get the microfiber towels for free. We're just trying to get this built up on there. Mostly to use as like a filler, you know, so we're gonna go back and we're gonna sand a lot of that. And this is gonna tell us a lot about what our work underneath it looks like. And what areas are gonna require some more attention. Like I said, this is a heavy primer, heavy buildup. So a lot of the little stuff on here, this will actually just correct for you. See those cracks showing through there now? Right up in there. They're pretty deep. Alright, so we got the primer all laid down on there. And you can kind of see some spots in there of some areas that could use some work and fixing. Especially that spot where the Bondo cracked all underneath there. And I think that was due to the temperature in the room. We put a little over where we shaved those door handles off, and we'll sand all that back and go from there. Did get a little dust nub in the roof there too, so it happens. But we're not even close, so we'll get that fixed up, and I guess that's it until the next one. I thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next one.